Welcome back to another episode of Pipe Surgery. This week's question comes from Darren, who is a new VP sales at a SaaS company in the UK. And Darren's question is, how do you best create an environment and culture of coaching in your sales organization? Simon, you go first.
Great question, Darren, and one that's very dear to my heart. I think it's all about leading from the front. So you need to almost get into the trenches to get respect in the beginning. So that could be getting on demos and taking ownership of some accounts to show how you can close those deals or how you've got around particular obstacles in those scenarios. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to play back calls and use a tool like Novasee, for example, where you can play back an existing call, assess maybe the body language and how the call went, where it went right and where it went wrong, share it with both the individual concerned, but also share it with the rest of the team as well. So people should be analysing calls as a team. And I will also use the data that you glean as VP sales, look in the CRM and see where deals are falling through the cracks. Is it negotiation handling that it's getting stuck on price, in which case maybe some upskilling on pricing, negotiation training? Is it that there's some certain objections that come up time and time again, and there aren't really good stock answers that your team are using? So look at the gaps, try and plug those, and look where you can add the most value as VP sales. And that could often involve going outside of the organization. So at Pipe Global, we're often brought in from the outside to look at particular issues and give niche coaching sessions on where things are going wrong. But either way, it should be regular, it should be repeated, and also you should be assessing if those practices are being implemented as well, which is why, again, the call tracking and recording is such an important feature today.
Yeah, I really agree with that last point, Simon, around the sort of pitfalls. Almost as a VP sales, your role is to be a sort of risk assessment officer. You need to be looking at that pipeline and understanding where does risk live in any of those deals, and coach your team through avoiding those pitfalls, as you say, to obviously grow revenue. I think the one thing that is important, as you said there, with callback and reviewing, is this concept. I like this phrase: people respect what you inspect. And coming back with an evidence-based approach to, look, this is how you've been performing based on XYZ results, and the data showing that. How do we get you from here to here? I think is really an important effort. I think the bit that is most overlooked, and that I'm such a strong proponent of, is the sort of EQ side of being a salesperson and how that relates to you as a VP sales. So really the mindset, the motivation of your sales reps, each one of them will be different. There is no cookie cutter system here, and if there is, you're doing it wrong. You've got to know what makes each player tick and then coach to those motivations. And really understand, whether it's where they want to head in their career, what's going on at home, is really, really important. So this idea of knowing who's showing up for work, not just what's showing up for work, is really very, very important. Someone we both respect very well within the Lumina sales coaching world coined the phrase, if you want to change the fruits, you got to change the roots. And so really it's about getting underneath a person, understanding their foundation, what's where they're growing from, if you want to change the results, the fruits. So there's lots more that we could add to this, obviously, Simon and Darren. Good luck in your new role as a VP sales. It can be very rewarding, it can be very tough. So we look forward to more questions from you. And that wraps up another episode of Pipe Surgery.